there is a certain number of people who will not tolerate black neighbors, and there isn't too much that can be done about them. But there's a larger group that are more worried about the reaction of their white neighbors, this not wanting to be the last syndrome. They're afraid that everybody will panic and move out. And what we wanted to do was reach people, let them know that the majority of the people were willing to accept an integrated neighborhood.
In the southwest quadrant of Dallas lies an Oak Cliff community which is struggling to maintain its equilibrium. It is a struggle whose roots are embedded in the past, while emotion and reason wage war against yesterday and today. We loved Oak Cliff. My roots have been terribly disturbed. We would still be there if it hadn't been for the busing and the school and the rumors. These were the words of a former Oak Cliff resident who sold her home and moved to Arlington last August. The old neighborhood was undergoing a metamorphosis, a change that she and many others found distressing.
I guess it was back in the spring of '71 when the first black families began to come into the neighborhood. And my husband and I talked about it, and we didn't see any reason why it couldn't work. We knew at times past it hadn't worked, but we felt like we had a lot of things going for us now in open house and locally and federally that we didn't have before. And we felt like maybe people's attitudes had matured a little bit, and we wanted to stay in our community. And we just decided it had to work somewhere, and it might as well be here.
The alarm was sounded.
To make any difference at all. Well, by summer, when they came up with this proposed clustering plan, especially for Oak Cliff, that was when the unrest really started in the neighborhood. And my husband became concerned about the old story that you'll lose money on your house.
In February 1972, residents witnessing a neighborhood in trouble formed the Southwest Oak Cliff Association for Human Relations. They canvassed the area to get the facts and communicated in meetings and newsletters. They had two enemies, rumors and blockbusters.
I'm not saying these are occurring necessarily, but there are all sorts of outside influences that could make an area resegregate. And again, the way to meet this is not by individual action, it's by people joining together and working through an organization.
Our neighbor across the street had her sign up by this company, and within 3 months haven't shown it to anybody. And at the same time, they were sending us letters and calling us on the phone saying they had people that wanting to buy homes in our area. So we couldn't understand if they had those people, why didn't they show them the one that's already had the sign up?
Did you contact them?
We contacted people that were selling the home. I mean, the people that lived there that had it with us. People only told her, and then she went to her real estate company, and they tried to deny it, but we had letters. It was evident that
assuring. She said it just won't happen. You know, if you panic and you sell it when too many other people are selling, yes, but if you're not afraid to stay, then you won't lose money on your house.
Homes in Southwest Oak Cliff range in value from $12,000 to $120,000. The highest turnover.
Taking it down. And finally, I kept asking him, "What happened to the sign?" He said, "I'd go out there and take it down." And I said, "Well, why?" And he said, "Because I don't want to leave." And we all love our home. We fought long and hard to buy it, and we truly love our home. And we know that if we ever lose it, we'll never buy another home anywhere.
Why did you decide to take it off the market?
Well, because our son agreed to go to private school.
Compared to North Dallas, Oak Cliff is just much more beautiful. You've got trees and creeks and hills. And we thought people ought to be informed about that. So Charles took slides of the area, and he would take some of the homes, things like the branch library, the new Y building, and so on, the trees and the creeks, and he got a picture of a squirrel, and just all sorts of things to show people this is a very special area, and they ought to think real hard about how lucky they are to live here, and why anybody else would want to live here, I guess. And this is the point behind it. And I think it went over very well. We put a lot of work into it, and I think we gave them a good overview of a very special area.
But there's one more reason I want to bring up that we changed our mind was this group that they have formed.
Yes.
We had to sign up at the time, and they were having a meeting at Apple. They wanted all the concerned parents to show up, and sure enough, we did. And Dr. Strum was showing slides of the neighborhood, and sure enough, when we got to our particular neighborhood, our house was the one they picked out as one of the most beautiful homes in the neighborhood, and why you shouldn't live here. And so
it really made us realize, because the whole time that we had put it up for sale, I cried every day. And I walked around looking at my trees, because we have 30 trees. We have a well, we use well water. We have everything that we really wanted all our lives.
they made us see what we were fixing to give up, because we were fixing to get scared
We
for
just
nothing.
keep the sign down, forget it.
So we're staying.
Without an organized effort to stabilize, by now Southwest Oak Cliff could have become another resegregated community. Without effective leadership, it may still resegregate, gradually, through a process of attrition. Many residents are in a holding pattern, awaiting the next court order regarding school desegregation. Perhaps that will be the first real test of this community's stability.